A sudden landslide and flash flood occurred in Wadi Bani Ghafir, creating a dangerous situation for both people and road traffic. After heavy rainfall, large amounts of water, mud, and rocks rushed rapidly through the valley, crossing the roadway without warning. The strong current reduced visibility and made the road surface unstable, increasing the risk of accidents. Several vehicles were seen approaching the flooded section, but drivers reacted quickly and carefully accelerated to pass through the area before conditions became more severe. Their timely decisions helped them avoid being trapped by the rising water and debris. The incident highlights the serious hazards flash floods pose in mountainous regions and emphasizes the importance of caution, quick response, and awareness during extreme weather events. Amid a rapidly flowing river, a car became trapped after being swept off the road by strong currents. Several people were stuck inside the vehicle as the water level continued to rise, creating an extremely dangerous situation. Because conventional rescue methods could not reach the car safely, emergency responders decided to use a front loader. The machine was carefully driven into the middle of the river, facing strong water pressure and unstable ground. Once positioned close to the stranded vehicle, the operator lowered the bucket to create a stable platform. One by one, the trapped people climbed out of the car and stepped into the loader's bucket, assisted by rescuers. After ensuring everyone was safely inside, the front loader slowly reversed toward the riverbank. Thanks to precise machine control and calm coordination, all individuals were successfully brought to safety without injury. The off-road vehicle begins its journey by slowly approaching the uneven terrain, where deep ruts, soft soil, and scattered obstacles immediately challenge its stability. As the wheels roll forward, the suspension starts to articulate, allowing each axle to move independently and maintain contact with the ground. This flexibility is crucial, as traction varies constantly across the rough surface. As the vehicle advances, the ground becomes increasingly muddy and irregular. The driver carefully applies throttle control to prevent wheel spin, while the large off-road tires dig into the soil to generate grip. Despite the vehicle's powerful drivetrain, progress remains slow and deliberate. The engine works under heavy load, delivering steady torque rather than speed, which helps the vehicle climb and crawl over the uneven ground. Soon, the terrain worsens, with deeper ruts and patches of loose mud causing the vehicle to lose momentum. One set of wheels begins to slip, reducing traction and making forward movement difficult. At this stage, the driver adjusts steering input and throttle, attempting to redistribute weight and regain grip. The vehicle rocks slightly as it searches for a stable path through the obstacles. When traction becomes insufficient, assistance is required. Another heavy-duty off-road vehicle moves into position to help. A recovery cable is attached securely, ensuring that the pulling force will be applied smoothly and evenly. Once tension is applied, the assisting vehicle begins to pull, while the struggling vehicle continues to provide controlled power. Together, they overcome the resistance of the muddy terrain. With coordinated movement, the vehicle is gradually freed from the deepest ruts. As it moves forward, the tires finally find firmer ground, allowing traction to improve. The suspension continues to absorb shocks from rocks and uneven surfaces, protecting the chassis and maintaining vehicle balance. Step by step, the vehicle clears the most challenging section of the route. After passing the obstacle, the vehicle continues across the rough landscape with greater confidence. Although the terrain remains uneven, the combination of high ground clearance, strong drivetrain components, and careful driving ensures steady progress. The experience demonstrates how off-road vehicles rely not only on mechanical strength, but also on precise control, teamwork, and adaptability when navigating extreme conditions. The recovery begins with a tracked military vehicle positioning itself in front of the stuck Tatra 813 truck. Heavy tow cables are securely attached, and the tank applies steady pulling force. As its tracks grip the muddy ground, the vehicle gradually drags the immobilized military truck out of the deep, mud-filled pit. The recovery operation shows how a military truck is used to rescue another heavy truck trapped in deep mud. First, the military vehicle is carefully positioned on firmer ground to ensure stability and traction. Strong tow cables and recovery chains are then securely attached between the two trucks. After checking alignment and tension, the military truck begins to pull steadily, applying controlled power rather than sudden force. As the wheels bite into the ground, the stuck truck slowly breaks free from the mud. Finally, both vehicles move forward safely, demonstrating the strength, reliability, and effectiveness of military-grade recovery equipment in difficult terrain. The rescue operation began when a blue truck became stuck on a muddy road, its wheels spinning wildly on the slippery surface. The thick mud and rough terrain made it impossible for the truck to move forward or backward on its own. After several unsuccessful attempts to regain traction, a heavy-duty tow truck was called in. The tow truck carefully approached from level ground and positioned itself in front of the stuck truck. Steel tow cables were securely attached to the truck's chassis and the tow hook of the tow truck. After checking the connection, the tow truck slowly applied traction, synchronizing its movement with the truck's engine to reduce tension. As the wheels slowly freed themselves from the mud, the truck was guided along the safest path. After several controlled tows, the vehicle was rescued. The operation shows a dramatic recovery while a heavy truck is climbing a steep slope. During the ascent, the man tractor suddenly loses drive because the drive shaft breaks under extreme load. With a cargo weighing around 120 tons, the vehicle can no longer move forward and risks rolling backward. Recovery crews quickly organize a controlled towing operation. Additional heavy-duty tractors are positioned uphill, while safety lines and braking systems are carefully coordinated. Step by step, tension is applied to stabilize the load and prevent uncontrolled movement. The disabled truck is then slowly pulled to a safer position, maintaining constant communication between drivers. This operation highlights the enormous stresses involved in heavy haul transport and the importance of coordination, experience, and precise control when dealing with non-standard, oversized loads on steep terrain. After the Tatra 815 truck overturned and became trapped on a steep slope at the construction site, recovery crews were called in. A heavy crane was carefully positioned, attached to the vehicle, and used controlled lifting to raise the truck and restore it safely to an upright position. The video shows a Zetor 6911 tractor stuck deep in thick mud during fieldwork. Its wheels spin helplessly, unable to gain traction. To resolve the situation, another tractor is brought in. Using a strong tow connection, the second machine steadily pulls the trapped tractor free. After the truck slides into the roadside ditch and becomes dangerously tilted, a wheel loader is brought in to recover it. The loader carefully positions itself on stable ground and attaches a towing chain to the truck's frame. By applying steady pulling force and controlled movement, the loader gradually lifts and drags the vehicle out of the ditch, restoring it safely onto the roadway. In this dramatic recovery operation, a heavy-duty Tatra 815 TERR1 truck becomes stuck in extremely difficult terrain. The wheels lose traction, and the vehicle struggles to move forward despite repeated attempts. Encouraging shouts echo as the driver carefully applies throttle, trying to free the truck inch by inch. The powerful engine roars, but the ground offers little grip, turning the situation into a real test of both machine and patience. After several failed attempts, it becomes clear that brute force alone is not enough. The team quickly decides to switch strategies. Recovery cables and chains are prepared, and the truck is secured for a controlled pull. With coordinated effort and precise timing, the rescue begins. Slowly but steadily, the Tatra is pulled free from the trap. In the end, the operation highlights the toughness of the vehicle and the importance of teamwork, experience, and calm decision-making under pressure.
Давай, лапочка, красотка, молодец, молодец.
The video captures an intense off-road challenge where heavy-duty off-road vehicles on large pneumatic tires push their limits while crossing a muddy swamp. From the very first moments, the vehicles enter a terrain saturated with water and thick mud, creating extreme resistance and unstable ground conditions. The swamp tests not only the power of the engines, but also the traction, suspension, and driving skills of each team. As the vehicles move forward, their oversized tires dig deep into the mud, throwing water and sludge into the air. Some vehicles advance steadily, using low gears and constant throttle to maintain momentum, while others struggle and become partially stuck. In these moments, teamwork and strategy become essential. Drivers carefully adjust speed and steering angles to prevent wheel spin and loss of control. The swamp's surface appears deceptively calm, but beneath it lies soft, sinking ground that can trap even the most capable machines. Winches, tow straps, and coordinated pushes are occasionally used to recover vehicles that lose traction. Despite the harsh conditions, the vehicles demonstrate impressive durability and mechanical strength. Overall, the video highlights the raw excitement of off-road driving and the engineering capability of tire-based all-terrain vehicles. It showcases how power, technique, and determination combine to overcome one of nature's most challenging environments: deep mud and water-filled swamps. In this video, a tracked excavator struggles to move forward through a waterlogged, muddy area while building a temporary crossing across the river. The ground is extremely soft and unstable, causing the machine to sink deep into the mud with every movement. Despite the harsh conditions, the excavator carefully advances, using its tracks and bucket to maintain balance and traction. This scene clearly demonstrates the challenges of operating heavy construction equipment in flooded terrain and highlights the machine's durability and the operator's skill. The video shows a Belarusian MTZ-82 tractor struggling to move after getting stuck in mud while crossing a grassy field. Due to the excessively saturated soil, the ground lost its load-bearing capacity, causing the tractor's rear wheels to sink and spin without generating traction. As the operator tried to move forward, the tires sank deeper into the mud, making the situation even more difficult. The engine continued to run steadily, but power was not being effectively transferred to the ground. Wet grass and soil were scattered as the wheels spun. This scene highlights the challenges agricultural machinery faces when operating in unfavorable terrain conditions. It also demonstrates the importance of proper timing, soil assessment, and traction management when working on soft fields to avoid getting stuck. In this video, a recovery operation is carried out to rescue a tractor that has become deeply stuck in thick mud. Due to soft ground conditions and heavy weight, the disabled tractor is unable to move on its own, with its wheels sunk far below the surface. To resolve the situation, a second tractor, an MTZ-82, is brought in to perform the recovery. First, the recovery tractor is carefully positioned on firmer ground to ensure stability and traction. A strong towing cable or chain is securely attached to the front towing point of the stuck tractor and to the rear hitch of the MTZ-82. Before pulling begins, both operators check alignment to make sure the force will be applied evenly and safely. Once everything is prepared, the MTZ-82 slowly applies power, increasing engine torque while maintaining a steady pull. The driver avoids sudden jerks, allowing the wheels to grip the ground and gradually overcome the suction created by the mud. As tension builds in the cable, the stuck tractor begins to shift, with mud releasing its hold little by little. After several controlled pulls, the trapped tractor is finally freed and moved onto solid ground. This operation demonstrates the importance of proper recovery techniques, careful coordination, and the strong pulling capability of agricultural tractors when working in difficult terrain. The video documents a complex special operation to rescue a T-130 bulldozer that became submerged in water after losing stability near the edge of a flooded area. The heavy machine slipped into the soft, muddy ground and gradually sank, leaving only part of its structure visible above the water surface. Due to its massive weight and the unstable terrain, a conventional recovery method was not sufficient, requiring a carefully coordinated rescue effort using additional heavy equipment. To carry out the operation, a CHETRA bulldozer and a Komatsu excavator were deployed to the site. Each machine played a specific role in stabilizing the situation and safely extracting the sunken bulldozer. The first priority was to assess the condition of the T-130 and the surrounding ground. The area near the water's edge was saturated with mud, making it extremely slippery and dangerous for both machines and operators. Any sudden movement could cause further sinking or even tip another machine into the water. The Komatsu excavator was positioned on firmer ground, slightly uphill from the submerged bulldozer. Using its long boom and bucket, the excavator began removing mud and sediment around the trapped machine. This step was essential to reduce resistance and free the undercarriage, which had become deeply embedded in the soft riverbank. The excavator worked slowly and precisely, avoiding sudden pulls that could damage the bulldozer's structure or worsen the situation. At the same time, the CHETRA bulldozer was brought in to provide pulling force and ground stabilization. Its wide tracks distributed weight more evenly, allowing it to operate closer to the muddy edge without sinking. Steel cables and chains were carefully attached to reinforced points on the T-130's frame. These connections were checked multiple times to ensure they could withstand the enormous tension required during the recovery. Once the preparation phase was complete, the rescue entered its most critical stage. The Komatsu excavator applied controlled lifting force by raising the front of the submerged bulldozer slightly, while the CHETRA bulldozer began pulling from a safer distance. This combined effort reduced suction from the mud and water, which was one of the main obstacles preventing the T-130 from moving. Slowly, the bulldozer began to shift, breaking free from the grip of the saturated soil. Throughout the operation, constant communication between operators was essential. Movements were carefully synchronized to avoid uneven stress on the cables and machinery. The water level, ground stability, and machine angles were continuously monitored. Any mistake could have resulted in snapped cables or additional equipment becoming stuck. After several controlled pulls and adjustments, the T-130 Bulldozer was finally dragged onto firmer ground. Mud and water poured off its tracks and blade as it emerged from the flooded area. Although heavily soiled, the machine's main structure remained intact, demonstrating the durability of its design and the effectiveness of the rescue strategy. The operation concluded with a final inspection of all equipment involved. The rescued bulldozer was moved to a safe area for cleaning, maintenance, and mechanical checks before returning to service. This successful recovery highlights the importance of proper planning, teamwork, and the use of suitable heavy machinery when dealing with extreme working conditions. It also serves as a clear example of how experience and coordination can turn a potentially disastrous situation into a controlled and efficient rescue operation. What you are about to see is truly one of the most dramatic and unforgettable tractor recovery situations of the past several years. This is not a staged scene, not a planned challenge, and certainly not something done on purpose. Everything happened naturally as a result of difficult terrain, unexpected conditions, and a chain of events that quickly escalated beyond control. The story begins with a Belarus tractor working on land that was once a normal field. In previous years, this area had been used for farming, and even just a couple of years ago, it was dry enough to mow grass without any serious problems. However, this year the situation changed completely. Heavy rainfall left water everywhere, turning the soil into deep, soft mud. Despite this, the decision was made to plow the fallow land, assuming the ground would still support the machinery. At first, the Belarus tractor moved forward and attempted to work through the wet terrain. But as the wheels sank deeper with each rotation, it became clear that the ground was far more unstable than expected. The tractor gradually lost traction, the tires dug into the mud, and before anyone could react, the machine was firmly stuck. The more it tried to pull itself free, the deeper it settled into the soaked soil. In an effort to rescue the Belarus tractor, a T150K tractor was brought in to help. The plan was simple: use the stronger machine to pull the stuck tractor out of the mud. However, nature had other plans. As soon as the T150K moved closer and began applying force, it too started to sink. The ground beneath it gave way, and within moments the second tractor was also stuck. This was not intentional, not careless, and certainly not done by request. It simply happened as a result of the extreme conditions. Now, instead of one tractor in trouble, there were two. The muddy field had effectively trapped both machines, and every attempt to move them only made the situation worse. At this point, it became clear that additional help was needed. A call was made to bring in reinforcements, and soon a brother arrived with a powerful Ural truck, hoping that its strength and weight would be enough to solve the problem. The Ural truck was positioned carefully and tried to pull the tractors free. Engines roared, cables tightened, and everyone watched with anticipation. But even the Ural struggled. The slippery ground offered almost no grip, and despite its power, the truck could not overcome the resistance of the mud. Once again, the recovery attempt failed, proving just how challenging the conditions really were. Finally, a coordinated effort was organized. The Ural, the T150K, and a 75-horsepower tractor worked together, applying force step by step rather than all at once. The process required patience, precise timing, and careful communication. Slowly, with repeated attempts and constant adjustments, the tractors began to move. One by one, they were pulled free from the mud, though not immediately, and certainly not easily. In the end, success came through teamwork and persistence. The tractors were rescued in sequence, proving that even the most powerful machines can become helpless when faced with extreme natural conditions. This incident serves as a powerful reminder that fields can change dramatically from year to year, and what once seemed safe can quickly turn into a trap. This recovery operation was not just about pulling machines out of mud. It was about experience, cooperation, and respect for the land. It stands as one of the most impressive tractor recoveries in recent years, not because it was planned, but because it showed how real challenges are overcome in real working conditions. The heavy Tatra truck climbs toward a steep dirt mound, but quickly becomes stuck as its wheels lose traction. Thick mud grips the tires, causing them to spin and throw up soil while dark exhaust smoke drifts behind the vehicle. Despite the driver's careful throttle control, the truck struggles to gain enough grip to move forward. The rear axles sink deeper into the soft ground, increasing resistance. After several attempts, the powerful engine continues to roar, showing both the strength of the truck and the difficulty of escaping the earthen obstacle.